All right, we are doing just the final.
This is the Wonder of the Seas review.
Um, yep. So start out.
Just a summary, basically, instead of a not that anybody wants to watch a 45-minute long broke down video collection. Just a brief summary, just about the ship. The ship is huge, as you know. As currently as we record this video for the next few months, it's the world's largest cruise ship. It will lose that title of the Icon of the Seas, but it's big. And if the Icon is bigger than it, it's going to be way big, but almost to the point. Personally, for my taste, I like all the amenities, but it was almost too big. I mean, lots of people, lots of crowd, 6,400 passengers. We were on there that week, which it accommodates more than that. But because of that, you do get a lot of stuff to do on the ship. You get a ton of just amenities, I guess you could call it. Whether it be carousels, sky climbers, rock walls, flow riders, Goonie golf, play escaping. You got all these different things you do. So if you got children, teenagers, there's a ton of stuff for them to do. They're gonna you could not watch a show, eat at the buffet, and have plenty of stuff to do all week. I mean, it's just a ton of stuff to do. So there's things that'll keep basically everyone. Tons of water slides, the splash pad for the kids, which is a big deal. Splash pad for diapered kids that are not potty trained, and other children, which is a big deal if you've got a 1-year-old on the ship. If not, there's not a whole lot for them to do. Huge adventure.
Yeah, I know
ocean
that
area.
came up when you was on the Carnival ship.
It comes up and a lot of first-time cruisers. You realize they think they can just bring their 1-year-old to the pool, and they get there. And I talked to one couple, and he goes, This was on the Carnival. He goes, "There's literally nothing for our child to do here in the water." He said, "I literally can't carry them anywhere." He said, "I didn't know this when I booked the cruise."
Right.
Because but no, I know these things because we've cruised a lot. So, but anyway, so that's the ship is great. You're not going to go wrong with the ship as long as you can handle the crowds. Best shows you're going to find at sea. I mean, they really are. Whether it's your show in the Aqua Theater this time, which is called Intense, probably one of the best shows I've ever seen on a cruise ship. They have a ice skating show, which the majority of the ships now roll Caribbean. You're going to get the ice skating show.
Yeah, the ice skating shows are always good because it's something different.
Always good. Those are two shows that our toddler 4-year-old loved, which was a shock. They have a voices a cappella pentatonics type show, I'd call it. That's really good. They have a superhero show for the kids one night called Effectors 2. There's going to be things that's going to keep you, you have your traditional stuff like Lovage Marriage Game Show, which was on at 3 o'clock on a sea day, which I really have a problem with, but they didn't ask
really
my opinion. That's terrible. So we didn't go just because it was inconvenient at the time. And karaoke in a very small venue, you get your quest back in a traditional form.
I like the quest being back. I wish Carnival would.
So it was good, but if you've seen one quest, they're all different, but they're all the same in a roundabout way too. So, but anyway, that's all of the entertainment's great. Uh, you know, overall, it's probably the best shows you're going to find on a cruise ship. You could insert the Allure of the Seas and have
they specialize. I think, as I said in another video, Royal specializes in the big production type shows. That's where they do good at.
Yeah, and the ice skating shows and aqua theater shows they're just neat. They're just something to see on the thing. So that's the the things with food. That's what everybody wants to talk about food, but with food. I mean, for us, the main dining room dinner, we didn't pay for anything. We did the main dining room, and we were blown away and impressed with how good the food was. Service was good. We did the anytime dining, which took longer apparently than traditional dining, but you do get the freedom of going when you want to.
Right.
So that for us, it's worth it. The food was just really good. The best meal I had was the first former night, which was the beef tenderloin.
Which we do not have a picture of because we didn't take pictures.
We did
like
not.
We requested.
We ate it, and I had a kid asleep at the time, so it was really a confusing time trying to hold a child up and eat, that kind of stuff. So photos weren't a priority.
What I'm working with.
Yep. So, and your menu is a little limited. 6 starters, 7 main courses, and 6 desserts that will rotate about every night. Some things you'll see like the French onion soup is repetitive, shrimp cocktail. But they're all mixed in there. They don't have a separate section like they used to. So, but the food for the dining room was good. We were very disappointed in the breakfast, whether it be in the main dining room. The park cafe was our go-to spot with coffee, donuts, bagels, cereal, that kind of stuff. We went down to 2 flights of decks. So,
and that's where them not having a sea day brunch to give you like 3 days or somewhere different hurts you.
See, the breakfast was just terrible. It really was.
And we have a longer form review on
yeah,
that.
if you need the details. Lunch was okay, adequate. You have your El Loco Fresh, which is sort of the highlight of it all. Like the new venue that's not on all the places. Your pizza, they'll kind of force you during times you'll be eating a lot of pizza, or the Promenade Cafe, which doesn't have many items that most people would want to eat on this ship. I don't know if they're all the same. The Solarium Bistro, which is sort of a fancy buffet. Basically, it's a nicer environment, quieter, doesn't smell as bad. But your food overall is great dining room food, average lunch, terrible breakfast. So overall, I'd take a good dining room experience at night.
Yeah.
And it's like where Carnival is sort of the flip. It is great breakfast, great lunch, and average dinner.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So, but a cheaper price, might add. So, but that's it. All in all, it was a great cruise. I mean, I do want to go smaller next time. Even if it's an older ship, go smaller. I think.
So that's what my question is. My parents also said the same thing about going smaller.
I know another individual that just went with his child that said the exact same thing.
But going smaller doesn't mean that takes out all the Oasis class ships and then the Icon as well, unless you put an asterisk.
I'm not saying I'm never going back on one. I know I will.
Yeah, but then
just for my next cruise, I'm going to try smaller, less people.
Yeah, it's almost like that. What's it? The Odyssey class ships or something like that.
I don't want to do the Radiance class, which is I won't. When I go smaller, I want to do a ship with a Royal Promenade and Ice Ring. That's as small as I'd like to go to, where you get like a Mariner of the Seas type ship. That's just us. We're going to try it because, a lot of things, even the splash pad, our son kind of day 3 or 4 sort of got burnt out on it to where, but then, it's closed a lot of times because people sort of ignore the rules and poop in the pool constantly. 3 of the 7 days it was closed, so be prepared. If it's open, run, go do it. So, but great cruise. It's something to see, to be on that ship, and everybody ought to try it once, I think.
Yeah.
So. It's just something about it.
I think I'm ready for them to move on away from this Oasis class ships. I have nothing against the class, but we've been going on this 15 years. Let's move on to something else.
They're going to do the Utopia, and they're doing the Icon, and there's 2 more Icons after that.
The second Icon class is kind of shockingly here before you know it.
The Star.
Yeah.
And there's one more. Then they hinted that they were going to go smaller, but one of the reasons too they're going to go smaller is because these large ships, regardless of what brand it is, limit the ports and places you can go because they're so big. So if you get a smaller ship, it can get in different places. So they're going to open up. It is getting a little. Everybody gets kind of tired of the same old ports, even though that's not what you go for. But, that kind of thing. So, but it was a great cruise. You can't go wrong. Everybody needs to do it just to be. For the experience of being on the ship that big and having fun.
Overall, with the recent ones, which was a Celebrity and then the Carnival Mardi Gras, if you had to put a general ranking of the 3, I know Celebrity will be last for you of those 3.
Well, Celebrity will be last for us because really I thought the food in the dining room on Royal Caribbean was heads and shoulders better than Celebrity, which shocked us.
Yeah, that's not what you'd think.
Not what you think. There was nothing for children. It's a great cruise. Service, unbeatable. The best service I've had on a cruise ship was on that Celebrity ship, but there was nothing for our 3-year-old at the time to do. So that's a problem. So that was for us. That was the last. Carnival was really cool. Maybe I would rank it a little higher just because it was our first cruise, and that's what Bubba wants to hear on his YouTube page. And I had a great time on the Royal Caribbean ship, but. Just to carry the little guy to let him see all those things, he spent half the days on the Sky Climber thing, which was kind of wild, which nobody would have thought. So, but yeah, probably maybe I like the less people, but then it did feel a little crowded at times too on the Carnival ship. But I'd say maybe 1 Carnival, 2 Royal Caribbean, and 3 Celebrity. But they all specialize in different things too. It's hard.
Yeah, I think they're probably close enough to where it's a personal preference.
It is. It definitely is. If it was just my wife and I'd probably do Celebrity.
Yeah.
Just because I felt like we had the ship to ourselves. Which was nice. Then you go to this one.
That was also,
it was selling a very small capacity.
Yeah, so that's kind of.
It was full. Yeah. So, but anyway, great cruise. Definitely, you need to go try one of the Oasis. Everybody needs to try one of the Oasis class ships.
Yeah, and if you're a new cruiser, the 3-day one coming up on the Utopia is probably one to look at. It's going to cost as much as a 7-day probably, but if you're just set on being not a 7-day cruise, look at that.
If you want a deal on an Oasis, bigger ship that's smaller too, I guess would be like the Mariner class. Look at the Adventure and the Explorer of the Seas. Some good deals on older ships like that, and the Mariner too. So those are some pretty good ships that haven't been refurbished in a while, but they've got some pretty competitive prices on them. So,
All right,
so
well,
like and
we'll wrap it up.
subscribe.